Hello, EduMagicians. Welcome to the EduMagic podcast with your host, Dr. Sam Fessich. Dr. Sam is a professor of education, author of EduMagic, and a pumpkin spice latte fan. This podcast is designed for pre-service teachers. Remember, friends, teaching doesn't begin at graduation, but during that first class at 8 a.m. Let's get this party started.
We're Aaron and Dave Tashin, co-hosts of the Mindful Educators podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now.
Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others.
Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Hello, EduMagicians, and welcome back to another episode of the EduMagic podcast. My name is Dr. Sam Fessich, and today we're talking about quiz-taking tips. This episode, just like all the others, are brought to you by my Teachers Pay Teachers store, the EduMagic Future Teacher Store. You can find it over on Teachers Pay Teachers. There you'll find free resources and some amazing paid resources that are going to help support you during your college career and beyond. So let's jump into today's episode. So some of you might be looking at your syllabus and you notice, I have a quiz next week, or I have a quiz coming up. What do I need to do? So first, hopefully you have looked through all of your syllabi in your courses. You've opened up your agenda. Maybe you grabbed the Future Teacher Planner over on Teachers Pay Teachers. And you started to document in when you have quizzes, tests, assignments, projects. And you notice you have a quiz coming up. So we're not going to wait till the last minute to study. So for example, if you have a quiz on Friday, we're not cramming on Thursday. Research said cramming is not a great option for you. It's not helpful in the long run, and it's really stressful. So we're going to back it up a few days and we're going to look at our schedule. So let's say we have a quiz next Friday, next week. What are some things that we can do now, say on a Monday, to start preparing ourselves for this quiz? First and foremost, we're going to go and we're going to look at the syllabus to see what content is going to be covered on the quiz. So we're in the beginning of the semester, and if you're listening to us later on, we're at the beginning of the semester, only 2 weeks in. What are some things that you have already covered in class that could be on the quiz? So perhaps you looked at chapters 1, chapters 2, and chapters 3. Maybe it's going to be a 3-chapter test. Or maybe it's just a 1-chapter test. So really know what content is going to be covered. Up next, look at your schedule, and starting a few days before the test, I recommend 5 days before the test, start to reread that chapter or chapters that the test is going to be on. Don't just flip through the pages and say, okay, I read it. Really read. So minimize distractions. Take notes if you haven't done so already on that chapter, on that reading. Especially look for vocabulary, key dates, any headings that are in that chapter, and then make some bullet points or main takeaways or summaries of those paragraphs that are under those headings to kind of get you an idea of what you just read. Are you able to explain what you read to a friend or a peer? You might want to start creating a study group too and ask each other questions, or prepare flashcards on Quizlet to ask vocabulary or key dates. So in addition to reading that chapter and taking notes on those main ideas, it's important to also review the chapter summaries at the end of every chapter. It's going to give you brief bullet points as to the important main parts of that chapter. So make sure you understand those summary pieces. Also at the end of chapters, there might be questions for you to answer. Go ahead and jot down some of your answers to those questions. Honestly, friends, you never know where a quiz question might come from. The teacher might just pull it right from the chapter. And hey, you know what? You read the chapter, you looked at the summary, you answered the questions, and you might have an answer for that, which is awesome. Now, when I went to college, my textbooks came with a CD. Yeah, a CD. Yours probably comes with an online portal. This could include additional resources like videos that can really demonstrate a concept, study guide questions. It could also include links to additional resources. Take some time and review some of that additional content. Again, you never know where a quiz question is going to come from. So reviewing some of those additional resources could be helpful. If you can, sometimes lectures are recorded. Are you able to go ahead and re-watch the lectures from previous classes? Make sure you understand the content, or maybe you might have missed something when the professor explained it. So this could be really helpful as well, watching those lectures again with more content that you already know, and making those connections between the chapter, between the lecture, and just being able to rewatch those could help firm up some of those ideas. Up next, you're going to want to collect any handouts, presentations, PDFs that the professor gave you. So go ahead and start to collect those and review that content as well. So those were some strategies. Let's recap those really quick before we go into a mini quiz type schedule that we can use. So we're going to make sure at the beginning of the semester, if we haven't done so already, we're reviewing that syllabus. We're jotting down in our agenda, and maybe you grab the future teacher agenda over on TPT, all the different assignments, due dates, projects, everything, test quizzes that you have coming up. So we jotted all that down. We know we have a quiz coming up, but we're not going to wait till the last minute to study because research says cramming does not work. So some things we're going to do to prep for our quiz. We're going to read the chapter. We're going to take notes on main ideas of the chapter under those headings, take notes of vocabulary terms being used, key dates. We're going to review those chapter summaries to make sure, did we get that main idea of the chapter, or do we just go through the motions of reading? We don't want to go through the motions. We want to dive deep into that chapter. We're going to look at the questions. Some chapters have questions at the end. We're going to go through. We're going to jot down some of our answers. We're going to look at any additional resources that are available in the text through online resources and portals. Sometimes, like the textbook that I use for my class, it has links to videos that are recommended. Go check out those videos, because sometimes those videos can demonstrate the concept being discussed in that chapter and show examples, which are really helpful. We're going to watch recorded lectures if we have that available to us, because now we can start to bring in the content that we've read, the notes that we've taken, and now we can look at that lecture through a new lens. Like, oh, I understand this a little bit more. Here's an example my professor shared. And you can make those connections a little bit deeper. We're going to collect all the materials that we've been given from the beginning of the semester till our quiz. For example, handouts, PDFs, presentations, and we're going to review that as well. If at any time you're confused about the content in your book or content in the lecture, ask your professors. We're here to help. So you might want to look at the week of your quiz. As you're studying, jot down what questions you have, what things you're unclear about, so you can ask that professor and clear that up before you take the quiz. Now remember, on any quiz or exam or test that you take, the learning is not reflected in that grade, in that A, B, or C. It's reflected in how you apply that information. So even though you may not do well on a quiz or as good as you hoped, your goal should not be going into a quiz, I'm going to do good on this, I'm going to get an A. The goal should be, I'm going to show what I've learned. And that, friends, really helps you to use this as a learning opportunity. It's not about the grade. It's about the learning opportunity. And just because you might not do as well as you thought on a quiz, don't give up. Use that as an opportunity to think through your study skills, to think through the content. Go and look at the quiz. What did you get wrong? What did you get right? Reflect on that. And then once you have answers to those questions that you missed, chat with the professor and, see if you can understand that content a little bit more clearly for next time you take a quiz in that class. All right, let's break up our week, and we're going to get a little study schedule going on here. Now, these can be flexible as long as we know we're not going to wait till the last minute to study. Let's say we have a quiz on Friday, and we're going to start studying for this quiz on Monday. Again, not waiting till Thursday to cram. Monday, we're going to reread that chapter and take notes. Tuesday, we're going to pull from our notes any key vocabulary, dates, key terms. We're also going to look at that chapter summary. We're going to make sure, do I understand the content that's listed in that summary? Wednesday, we're going to look through chapter questions, and we're going to jot down our answers to these. In addition, on Wednesday, we are going to look through those resources that could be provided in an online portal with our textbook. We're going to look at videos. We're going to look at study guides. We're going to look at content available online to help support our learning. Thursday, we are going to go check out office hours if our professor has some on that day. And we're going to ask any questions that we might have. Thursday, we might also want to get a little study group together for a little bit and review some content. We're not cramming. Thursday is not about cramming for that exam. It's about reviewing stuff that you've already done. So let's recap that. Monday, we're going to make time to read the chapter and take notes. Tuesday, we're going to look through the chapter's summary, and we're going to make flashcards or study notes about the main ideas, the key takeaways, key vocabulary. Wednesday, we're going to collect all the resources that we have from class, handouts, notes, presentations, PDFs, and we're going to start to review those as well. Thursday, not for cramming, Thursday, we're going to visit the end of the chapter questions and additional resources provided in our text. And if we have time, we might go ahead and watch those recorded lectures. In addition, throughout the week, we are creating a document or maybe a list of questions that we have for our professor, and we're going to send that out by Wednesday to an email or meet during office hours so I can get cleared up on any information I might not understand 100%. So friends, I hope that these tips have helped you. I wish you the best of luck on your quiz this semester. And remember, it's not about the grade, it's about the learning. Friends, you have the Edu Magic within you. Have a fantastic day, and bye for now.
And there you have it, Edu Magicians. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with your friends. For more Edu Magic, check out sfessage.com and follow Dr. Sam on Twitter and Instagram @sfessage. Until next time, you have the Edu Magic within you.